Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Add This to Your Playlist. So I'm back once again. On my last video, I was going through some of the best tracks that are currently out, some of the tracks that I was really feeling. I really hope you did enjoy that volume of videos. But for this volume, we're actually going to be going through some of, in my opinion, some of the best tracks from specific artists. So without any further ado, we're going to go into the first track, and the artist we're going to be going through today is my personal favorite artist, or let me say my favorite hip-hop or rap artist, Kanye West, the crazy guy. So let's start with track number 1. Alright, so the first track is, this track came out, I think on The Life of Pablo. It's got a crazy drop on it. It's probably one of during that time, I think he did like an MSG event, and it was nuts. First track, Father Stretch My Hands, at number 15, really good song, brilliant. The next track is off of his graduation project. It's called Everything I Am. I like one of the lines in there. I think he says something about common passed up on the beat and I made it into a jam. That production and that style that he comes with it is just something else, man. Really laid back tune. It's definitely one of my favorites, and definitely one of my favorites off of that project. Alright, so for number 13, this track was actually off of a series of tracks he released each Friday, and they were actually, I think it was in the run-up to the My Dark Twisted Fantasy album, where he was releasing tracks every single Friday, and he called them Good Fridays, obviously related to Good Music, his label, and this was probably my favourite track out of all of them, and it's called Lord, Lord, Lord. If you haven't heard it, you're not a real Kanye fan, man. Go and listen to it. And it features like Charlie Wilson and a couple of other guys. Really good song. Alright, so the next track is a track off the Late Registration album, and this track is kind of like one of those tracks that you put on when you're kind of driving through in like the night time, and like it's dark and the motorway's kind of clear and you're just kind of rolling through like an area. It features Paul Wall, who's really known for his like grills and the sort of pimped out car sort of thing, and it's called Drive Slow. Really good, like laid back track, and it kind of references Kanye talking about how he used to go meet his cousin back in the day, and his cousin was like the fly guy, and people used to get onto Kanye, and he gave Kanye a nickname called K-Rock and stuff like that, and all the girls started loving him just because of that name or whatever. But this tune, Drive Slow, I just love the little trumpet in the background, the sort of like rolling through the end sort of soundtrack. It's a great song. Yeah, that's a great track. Track number 11 is one from Late Registration, and this track is called Addiction. I love this song, man. I love this song. I think towards the end of the song, he talks about, a little menage a trois little thing, man, which is kind of really funny, man. That's what I kind of miss. You know what? Let me not say I miss, because Kanye, in his own mind and with certain things he does, he is still a bit funny. And with that little thing there, it's kind of like that braggadocious sort of like confident, funny sort of Kanye that we all kind of know. And I think just now he's kind of just like evolved into something else. But yeah, Addiction. Alright, track number 10 is Say You Will, off of the 808s and Heartbreaks album. This track, don't really need to talk too much about it. I love this album. It was a different direction. It was him on that sort of auto-tune, and I don't know, he was wearing suits and had like a mullet, and he was on a different vibe. But this track here, really good song, and it launched a couple people's careers. If you heard Drake's version, some people say this was the thing that kind of put him in that sort of lane. So yeah, great song. Track number 10. You cannot argue with your mates. This is one of the greatest tracks that Kanye's done ever. This song is it holds a special place in my heart. The production, I thought it was Kanye that produced it, but it's actually a guy called Bink who produced it. And the track is none other than Devil in a New Dress, featuring my guy Ricky Ross. Yeah, the production on this track is amazing. Like the lyrics, like the way Kanye comes in it, the way Rose just fits on it perfectly. Like one of my favorite tracks off of that My Dark Twisted Beautiful Fantasy album, 100%. Track number 8 is another track from the Late Registration album. This track is called Roses, and I think he was talking about his grandma, someone kind of close to him who was in hospital, and he's just talking about that whole sort of process. And once again, he comes with the the in-depth sort of storytelling sort of side of things, but at the same time he still has that comedic element. So I think one of the nurses comes up to him and he says, she's asking me if you can sign some t-shirts. Can't you see that we hurt? Like it's a really, really good song. Really, really good song. Paints a really, really good image. Definitely one of the diamond sort of tracks off of that Late Registration album. Track number 7. It's a bit controversial, but this track is the first track off of the Yeezus album, and it's called On Site. And I don't care what anyone says, this track is a hype. It is a hype. I love it. What he's talking about, the subject matter, I love it. I love it. Like, a lot of people didn't like that album, but I don't know, man. If you got it, you got it. If you didn't get it, you didn't get it, innit? That's the way I look at it, man. I thought it was a great album. Like, a lot of people argue with me on that, but to be honest with you, I thought it was a great album. So yeah, On Site, like, that's angry Kanye, and I like that. That's my track number 7. Alright, so for my next track, it's actually not from a Kanye album, but I love this song so much. It's probably a song that I just play like randomly, like if the lyrics kind of come into my head, and I don't know, it just puts me in a good mood. Like, it really puts me in a good mood. Obviously, I like my clothes, I like my fashion and stuff like that, and this song is like the epitome of that. This song is called Live Fast, Die Young, and it's actually off of Rick Ross's Teflon Don album. And yeah, Kanye and Rick Ross, they just have that sort of connection that works really, really well. Like, really, really well. And Kanye on this track, he kind of talks about, live fast, die young, like going out, like we're gonna be living like this for the rest of our lives, let's spend it all tonight. He's talking about going into the store, like came out the store so fresh, people thought I was a stylist, like, just those sort of bars, and it makes me want to go out and cop some new stuff. But yeah, definitely one of my favorite tracks. Alright, so this one's another track off of My Dark Twisted Beautiful Fantasy, and it's called Blame Game. And I don't know whether it was a track in reference to his kind of breakup with Amber Rose or whoever, but yeah, it's a really, really good track. I think it's got John Legend on there on some of the vocals, and then at the end you've got that epic sort of like comedy skit from Chris Rock, giving that sort of comedic feel to it as well. But yeah, great song, and that's my track number 4. Alright, so for my next track is from the College Dropout album, and it kind of, I think it starts, the previous track has that kind of skit by Bernie Mac, and it's called We Don't Care. And yeah, it's just a nice track. That production, that sort of birth of that sort of soulful sort of like production that he kind of started the whole wave on. Like, that track is like, that is it. Like, you just think of like just golden sort of old school, like feel good sounds when you hear songs like that. Like, that is the epitome, or that's what made people fall in love with Kanye in the first place. That sort of soulful sort of hip hop that he kind of brought back. And yeah, We Don't Care is a great track, great vocals, great lyrics, great storytelling. Definitely one of my favorite tracks. And my next track is another track off of the Good Friday compilation, and it's actually called Good Fridays. I think it's got like Big Sean on there, and a couple of other artists as well. But yeah, this is a really, really good song. Charlie Wilson, I think he's on there as well. Really, really good. Common as well. Very, very good song. Very, very good song. Like I said, if you haven't heard this, you need to go and listen to it again. Really, really good song. Track number 2, I would say, is Hey Mama. And Hey Mama is kind of like sums up the kind of relationship he had with his mum that passed. You know, they had that really, really good relationship, and you know, he's kind of talking about how he like dropped out of college and she still supported him, and you know, he would do anything in the world for her and things like that. And a lot of people resonate with that song, you know, even if you're not a Kanye fan or you don't like what he's saying or who he is or whatever, a lot of people can resonate with that song because, you know, it's appreciating your mother who kind of, you know, would have done so much in the world for you. So, you know, really, really good song. And yeah, that's my track number 2. All right, so my favorite Kanye track, my track number 1, it has to be Last Call, off of the College Dropout album. Yeah, Last Call, man, like, I'm one of those people who, the track, I think it's like 8 minutes, maybe even longer than that, 8-9 minutes long. But I'm kind of one of those guys who, you know, if I hear that song, I'm listening to it all the way to the end. Sorry, like I want to hear, you know, him, you know, talking after he's finished rapping, and then, you know, I just love it. It's a great song, and it kind of talks about how he kind of went through that whole sort of process of, you know, starting out, you know, trying to set up his own record label, not being, you know, taken seriously as a rapper, you know, being called a producer rapper and whatever, you know, deals falling through, getting kicked out of his apartment, things like that. Like, really, really good storytelling process. You know, you got little sound bites by, I think, Jay-Z, Damon Dash, some music execs and things like that. It really kind of paints the picture of the kind of struggles he went through to get to that Rockefeller deal in the end. So yeah, it's a really, really good song. Like, the sample's really, really good. It's classic Kanye, classic. You can't hate it. But yeah, great song, and that's my favorite Kanye track. Okay, thanks guys for watching. You know, it was a quick roundup. I'm going to be back once again with another artist, but I really hope you've enjoyed the video. If there are any tracks you think are better than some of the tracks I've talked about, that's totally fine. Let me know. But yeah, as always, please like, please share, and let me know in the comments. Let me know. Talk to me. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next episode.